so happy to be invited to tell you about our initiative, Mobile Stories. My name is Janice Gold, and I'm the co-founder of Mobile Stories. Fighting disinformation can not only be about fact-checking and debunking. We must also tackle the more long-term and complex task of rebuilding trust, as earlier mentioned, in our societies. And engaging young people from all walks of life to the democratic conversation plays a very important role here. And this insight gave me and my colleague Lotta Bergset the idea of Mobile Stories, which is a publishing tool supporting students to be trustworthy citizen journalists with the audience outside school. And it was when working as a reporter and a photographer in the early 2010s that we noticed that something was changing around us. We increasingly met young people with a distrust of journalists. Nobody cares what I think was something that we often got to hear from young people. At the same time, we saw the growing challenges with conspiracy theories and disinformation online. And we also realized that our skill sets as journalists could be used by everyone sharing and producing content online. So we wanted to transfer these skills in a pedagogical, educating tool to be used in schools. So how does it work? By using Mobile Stories, you understand how the media work and how journalistic content is created while developing a piece of story. Through the process, you receive tips from journalists and other experts, and you are reminded about fact-checking, about laws online, and journalistic codes of ethics. And you can also be invited to peer review other students' work and join forces with others to co-create articles. After the teacher's mandatory approval, the students can choose to publish their work on mobilestories.se. We are now having a project actually in Finland, Vasa övningsskola, as a first step of a planned scaling journey. And in the near future, it will be possible to use our tool in English and to publish student stories on the international platform mobilestories.com. Our service must be, of course, adapted to the reality that young people live in today. So we have plans to integrate AI, for example. We have a little buddy called Trusty, as you can see here, a meerkat. With AI, he will be able to give more tailored help to students and also free time for their teachers. And here's some numbers, Mobile Stories by the numbers. We have reached 10,200 students in the last 3 years. They have published more than 900 stories, videos, podcasts, and opinion pieces. And we reached 94 schools. 85% of the teachers in the survey we made this autumn developed their digital skills through Mobile Stories. And 93% of the students working with Mobile Stories developed their media literacy. And also 92% of the teachers in the same study said that Mobile Stories was engaging to their students. And the articles are very important contributions to the democratic discourse. In a Google.org funded project, Mobile Stories collaborate with the children's rights strategist in the city of Malmö to empower young voices in the area. In the project, articles are produced in close collaboration with the municipality, with the teachers, and with the school. And let's listen to what Mohammed 13 has to say about bullying.
Varför ska man retas? Att tycka att någon är full är dålig på någonting, det får man hålla för sig själv. Men att mobba någon, det är absolut inte okej. Du måste sätta stopp för mobbning. För att de som blir mobbade, barn eller vuxna, blir väldigt sårade. För det första, om någon blir mobbad av en person så kommer den senare bli mobbad av flera personer. Den här personen kommer påverkas på ett dåligt sätt. Till exempel, om det är en elev så kommer elevens omdömen att sänkas. Jag har själv blivit påverkad av mobbning. Jag har känt hur det är att vara mobbad och det känns inte alls bra. Jag påverkades på ett dåligt sätt och mina omdömen sänktes.
And Mohammed's story has gotten a lot of attention in Sweden, and he was actually invited to the biggest TV morning show in Sweden to talk about his experiences and also to give some advice on how to prevent bullying in schools. It feels great to write a text that can change other people's lives. With the help from my teacher, we have managed to get that text heard by many others, he says in the interview. He also says that he wants to continue to address bad things, negative things in society and make a difference. And in interviews, we have seen that other participants in the project feel the same. They feel that they have been taken seriously and that they want to continue writing articles to make an impact. In the opinion piece, Listen to Us, kids in Rosengård, Malmö, they tell us about their experiences about how they feel about the local media's negative reporting about their school and their area. And this is an experience that they share with a lot of other young people in similar areas in Sweden. Their article was reverberated in the community, and they were invited to the Teachers Training College to talk about their article and also to read the article in a culture festival in Malmö. And actually, in the beginning of this week, their story was published in the largest newspaper in Sweden, Aftonbladet, as the winning contribution in the Young Journalist Award. And the Young Journalist Award is a collaboration between Mobile Stories, Mediekompass, and Aftonbladet. And apart from getting their story published, they also win a cash prize, and they get to elaborate their views in an interview in Aftonbladet. And Mobile Stories have similar collaborations with local newspapers, and by engaging local news media, local politicians, and schools, Mobile Stories helps to build bridges in the local society. And here are some quotes about Mobile Stories. It felt good to show that young people and children can express themselves in the same way that adults can. Swedish as a subject becomes more authentic when they preview their story and see how professional it looks. They grow as individuals and realize they are capable of much more than they thought. The students who have come so far as to publish their text have felt pride in what they have done, something many have not felt in the subject of Swedish before.
We are running out of time.
Yeah, that was my last key takeaways.
Great. Take it step by step. Help students find their own driving force and make sure.
Sorry.
Sure.
It was gone.
I didn't see the last one.
Maybe you catch a few of them.
Yes. Please, you can sit down here and we take the next one. Thank you a lot.
Is this something?
Jenny. Next up is SAK from Finland, Mr. Kim Katanen. Welcome, here you go. Thank you. Thank you. Here. And the time starts now.
Hey everyone, I'm from Skill Plus. It's a digital skills program for workers, which obviously relates also to media literacy. So this is us. I'm from actually TSL, we're the Workers' Educational Association here in Finland. And we've been funded by google.org in our project. And SAK is actually one of our leading partners, knowing the employees, the workers of this fine country. They represent over 800,000 employees and workers, so they've shared a lot of wisdom for us in this project. We also have a collection of trade union partners in this project, starting from manufacturing, service, transportation, also construction industry, and Saaranen Consulting also sharing wisdom about these workers and these employees they can reach. So we identified a problem with Google and SAK. Thousands of hard-to-reach workers lack basic digital skills. And this limits their ability to do their jobs, but also their job opportunities. If you think about a construction worker these days, You can use your smartphone, you can use a mobile app to order materials to construction sites straight from the hardware store. You do not need to run everything by your supervisor anymore. So you need these basic digital skills to not be handheld by your colleagues today. So our solution, create a training program, teach these digital skills to workers, and partner up with trade unions because they can reach the workers so very well. Trade unions are impressive because they have a network of head shop stewards working in numerous different companies, already knowing the employers, knowing the workers, know what the workers need, so they could help us to pitch the idea to the workplace. Hey, would you like to learn digital skills? Also, they can reach workers multiple different other ways. Of course, they have social media, they have magazines, events, newsletters, so on and so forth. So these are the most popular modules we taught, and I've highlighted the ones that relate very closely to media literacy. The program itself lasted 8 hours, usually during one day, and we chose 3 to 4 modules to fill that one day. And the most popular modules are the ones listed here. We also had other ones, for example, to social media, but we kept coming back to these ones. That's why we're highlighting them. Information security, you could also say cybersecurity, very important topic today for workers. You might have bumped into stats from IBM that it costs over 3 million euros if there's a data breach at a company, or even over 8 million euros if it happens in the States. Artificial intelligence, we know these days, ChatGPT, popular topic. There's many ways to generate tons of content that might not necessarily be true, or you can manipulate videos, manipulate photos, on top of all the great things AI can do. And we cover these kind of topics as well with workers. The training program was carried over 3 different ways: in person, remotely using video conferencing tools, and also finally independently using an online course website. Here's a picture of yours truly teaching on a video. Here's some stats. So we trained 700 workers and counting. I say counting because the online course website still keeps attracting people to join in the program. And as you can see, people really like the content, the training. They felt that their job opportunities have been improved by the training program. And great to hear that 97% were still employed 6 months after the training program, which is important because a chunk of this happened in the middle of COVID crisis. And we were able to spark up interest towards learning digital skills also in the future, of course also related to media literacy. 69 had already continued learning digital skills independently within 6 months of the program. What have we learned? Well, media literacy is very important to workers. You have to understand what's happening around you at the workplace, in your industry, in the society. Also, we learned that you have to know how to walk before you can run. So critical literacy is some kind of I could say a pinnacle of media literacy, but we have to understand with workers, manual labor, of course, we noticed not all were comfortable reading tons of content, comparing different sources. And people might even have challenges understanding and applying information before they can do actual critical literacy or critical reading. It doesn't apply, of course, to everyone, but to a significant chunk. And also, related to media literacy, we learned that workers also need to have digital skills, basic digital skills, because again, a lot of this information, media happens online. You have to be sure that you keep yourself, people around you safe, for example, with the techniques that cybersecurity teaches us. And if you know what AI is, what it isn't, you know that it's not, for example, Terminator. It's also something that, as our students kept saying, oh, it must be Terminator. You can also understand that it's here, it's in search engines, it's on social media, also personalizing content for us, helping us find valuable content. But also it can be used, as mentioned, to manipulate content, create 50 articles with maybe intentionally inaccurate information, scatter it to numerous different websites, and make it seem like this information is true. So knowing technology shows you what is safe in the media and also what is possible in the media. If you'd like to learn more about Skill Plus, you can head over to skillplus.fi. If you want to learn more about the organization behind Skill Plus, TSL, Workers' Educational Association here in Finland, you can head over to tsl.fi. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Please sit down. And the next presentation, I can take the clicker, thank you. Next presentation is about VTKL Senior Surf from Finland. Mrs. Nina Ziessler, you're welcome. Here you go.
Hi, it's really nice to be here. My name is Nina Ziessler and I come from Senior Surf, and I will share a few thoughts about the digital participation of senior citizens and how seniors should be taken into account when teaching media skills and why. First, a few words about where I come from. Senior Surf is a part of the Finnish Association for the Welfare of Older People. It is the largest nationwide organization supporting the welfare of older people in Finland. The association promotes initiatives in old age issues such as inclusion, dignified old age, and alleviating loneliness. Senior Surf supports the digital participation of elderly people. We encourage seniors to learn digital skills, and we support organizations to coordinate and develop peer-to-peer support. In Finland, there are more than 1.2 million people aged 65 years or more. There are many levels of digital knowledge in this group. Some of them have been the pioneers in development of information technology. Others thought they were lucky to retire so that they didn't need to learn difficult programs anymore. A great deal, 280,000 seniors have never used computers or internet. And digital support is highly needed. And for 25 years, NGOs, senior volunteers in Finland, and nowadays also libraries and other institutes have been giving a one-to-one guidance for free. Especially seniors need help for the basic use and settings for the devices. A few words about digital inclusiveness, which is the main goal we are trying to achieve. People need motivation learning and using digital services. It is important that you get to know your target group and listen what makes them interested. Digital inclusiveness can be seen as a feeling that you are part of your society and that you can manage also digitally in everyday life. This is why it is crucial that we have understandable and accessible digital devices and services. Our key learnings about introducing media literacy for seniors are that the media skills come hand in hand with digital skills. Seniors need contents that they can relate to. Common questions seniors ask for help are related to using email, taking and sending photos, reading news or finding TV programs, not forgetting the healthcare and banking services. As you learn technical skills, you should talk about privacy and safety issues, media literacy and communication skills. And remember that the examples should create motivation and not intimidation. Here are listed a few basics of the digital guidance that should work actually with any target group. Start by listening. Use the language and words that your clients understand. Slower your tempo if needed. Learn together, give examples, and encourage them to try it over and over again. Remember to be patient. And most importantly, there's no stupid questions. Starting points for learning can be very different. Sometimes the biggest obstacle in learning can be the attitude of people around you or the prejudices of your own. Others might think one gets too old or too slow to learn, or that they don't need the services anymore. Some people might have a negative attitude towards the digital world altogether. They can be scared of new things or digital scams, for example. Deep down, they can also be sad about being left out. Ziessler provides material and support for organizations and volunteers. For example, ideas and instructions that can be helpful when organizing digital guidance or communicating about seniors' digital inclusiveness. We communicate actively with a wide range of organizations and digital service providers to help seniors' needs to be heard. We also think that asking and getting help for digital problems should be easy. We are opening a new nationwide free help desk service for seniors in March 2023, together with the peer-to-peer volunteers and NGO partners in Finland. Thank you for listening, and if you want to contact or follow us, then please do so.
Thank you, Nina. The last presentation is about Bibliothèque Sans Frontières, cyber heroes from Belgium, Mrs. Justine Cocset. S'il vous plaît.
Thank you. Thanks. Hi. So my name is Justine. I'm a program manager at an NGO called Libraries Without Borders. And we're an NGO who is present in about 50 countries around the world. And our core mission consists in facilitating access to education, to culture and information, especially to those who suffer from social inequalities or encounter certain difficulties due to wars, humanitarian crises. More specifically, I work in Belgium, where we've been developing a lot of things having to do with digital citizenship for both adults and children, actually. And I'd like to tell you a bit more today about one specific program we've been developing called the Cyber Heroes. This is a program that started back in 2018 in Belgium. However, with all the roots, since it was based on an initiative that was born in the US, that was started by Google actually, under the name Be Internet Awesome. And since then, many initiatives were started in other countries, and many other NGOs got involved and got to develop and enrich their own version of this program. So you might know, depending on where you're from, the brothers and sisters of the cyber heroes here and there in Italy, Netherlands, the UK, etc., etc. Now, what do we do? The Cyber Heroes is a program dedicated to sensitizing children aged from 8 to 13, sometimes a little bit older, but mostly 8 to 13, to online safety and well-being. What we're really trying to tackle here is the question of what it is to be a citizen in the digital age. Who to trust, who not to trust online, what to believe, what to not believe, how to interact with one another. So to do that, we develop resources and activities that we bring mostly to schools, as you will see, with our team of trainers. As an organization who's been working in Belgium for just 5 years, which is not that much, one of our big challenges has been to build strong, deep, long-lasting relationships with schools, as well as the networks and authorities that operate those schools. And so as part of this approach, we have progressively put together resources and on-site activities for not only the children, but also the parents and the teachers. So we've combined all of those in what we could call a 360 package. We've baptized it Cyber School. And the logic behind it is that we need to raise awareness about digital citizenship, about media literacy, not only among the children, but among the parents' community, among the teachers' community, and have everyone involved if we want to have, again, a deep, long-lasting impact and really change things. Well, one thing to know as well is the fact that parents and teachers are not necessarily very knowledgeable about those topics. They don't necessarily have themselves very good habits. Another thing to know is that, especially among teachers, we note sometimes a certain reluctancy, if not once in a while a bit of animosity or, yes, a bit of a rejection of digital topics. So there's quite a lot of convincing of discussion to have about this to slowly make sure that we offer something that is not just a one-shot operation, but truly will get rooted into the habits of the teachers and be brought back to the table with the children again and again and again throughout the year. To do that, we try to give the teachers ready-to-use activity sheets. We also try to make them understand that if you look at a topic like media literacy, it is actually quite easily embedded in a lot of different matters that are already in the school programs. You can talk about media literacy when talking about history, about science, about civic education. So that's a very important point we need to make towards the teaching community. And, well, another thing we do is we try more and more to come back to the schools where we've already been. That's another thing where, again, trying not to be in a one-shot kind of logic, but really root our action and use these comeback moments to deepen our approach and tackle specific topics. Typically, right now, we're working on like extra activities on conspiracy theories or even cyberbullying. But schools, and this is something I really want to underline here, schools are not our only focus. And more we try to explore other paths outside of the school's networks. First of all, because there's a lot of different places of socialization for kids. I'm thinking of like holiday camps, neighborhood associations, community centers, etc., etc. But also because we know that for a lot of children and a lot of parents, well, you know, people can have a complicated history with school. And so it's important, if we want our message to go through, to also imagine other creative ways to reach out to the parents and reach out to the children, maybe in places where they will feel a bit more relaxed or empowered. That's why our big plan for next year is to get even more creative and start giving out workshops within people's workplace, for example. Or to develop activities in shopping malls, or try to build partnerships with fast food chains. We're also looking at placing our booklets and brochures, which I'm happy to show you after if you'd like, at the doctor's offices. So there's, again, many different leads to work on and explore, and we certainly won't get bored in 2023. I hope this resonates with some of the challenges you have observed, either from a governance point of view or on the field. And I'm happy to further discuss this after the panel talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you, Justine. Really impressing, all of you are doing a great job, very important as well. Thank you so much for the presentations. Now, when we heard all 4 presentations, we will discuss how these programs could be adopted to other countries. First of all, do you have any advices to countries wanting to adapt any of these programs? Who wants to start? Kim.
Well, for example, I had the pleasure to work with hard-to-reach audience, so obviously the project has to be quite lengthy so you can actually educate people about this opportunity, because when we reach out to the workers, they weren't aware, or not normally the people who would gravitate towards this kind of training, so the longer the project, the better.
Jenny, you are working with younger people, educating them. Do you have the same problem? The same advice?
Yes, but it's also a challenge because teachers are they don't stay at one school for so long, especially in the hard-to-reach areas. It's a big rotation of teachers. But you need to be you can't give up easily. And also, I would like to say that we are now scaling our tool and translating it into English. So we're actually looking at different countries to pilot this in. So if you're interested in that, you can contact me, and we are we're going to apply for 2 different grants now, together with the French organization News Decoder and also the Åbo University, actually, and a school in Finland. So if you're interested in that project, you can contact me.
Sounds great. Nina, you are working with elderly people. I think I've noticed that many elderly don't want to interact with internet or anything technical at all. Do you have the same problem, that it's not always easy to reach them?
That's a big problem too, with the motivation. But as the age group is so big, there's a lot of stages of interest. Others are really doing okay and acting normally, and they have more skills, and then they have even the urge to help others. And that's what we have noticed, that elderly people who have maybe problems with motivation and wanting to use internet, when they get the equals to show examples how some things can be made easily, and they can be in contact with their relatives and children maybe living abroad, then that's helping. And the equal guidance is really, really important, so that they don't need to feel stupid because maybe things can feel hard, because
and often they are very afraid.
Yeah, the technology has become so developed so fast in the last few decades.
Justine, you told us that you are reaching your audience in various of places. Any advice how to reach the audience?
That really is a big challenge, and I think there's really two, like I said in the presentation, there's two axes of development for us. Our work with the schools really has required a lot of discussions with the directors of the schools, the directors of the network. So it's also really a very intensive effort to sensitize, to make the challenge of media literacy visible at the higher levels, while also by working hand in hand with teachers who can sometimes become ambassadors of the programs. And yes, the peer collaboration, or at least the fact of seeing other teachers so enthusiastic, can sometimes help. So it's working on those two dynamics. And then outside of school, it's really a lot of creativity and daring to go find partners. Sometimes, shopping malls, why not? Looking into, like I said, doctors' offices. There's just so many occasions, so many places where we can place our message. It's all about finding the places, but also for each place, the right format. And then hopefully we'll see how it goes. But yes, quite a bit of creativity too.
So to make the program reachable is the most important thing. I wonder, Do you have any good lessons you would like to share with us, or the countries wanted to adopt these programs? Jenny?
Lessons learned. Well, maybe if you're, I don't know if there are so many teachers listening here today, but to the teachers, that if you want to work with publications to publish students' work, maybe you can take it step by step and start with just if you work with mobile stories, you can invite a smaller audience into your article, and you can also print it and post it on the school library walls, for example, to be seen by other students. And you can find these platforms that are not completely open. And then the last step might be to online publishing, to publish for all to see.
Yes, indeed. Kim, any good lessons learned?
Well, I would recommend people to consider workplaces as a place for learning.
Yes.
People are obviously there every day. They know how to get there. And if people are hard to reach, they still go to work if they're fortunate enough to be employed at the time, obviously. So if you can find a good incentive for the employer to even provide this training to the employee or the worker, it's definitely the way to go. There's obviously incentive to also being compensated for your time there, and easy access for the worker and employee.
Yes, obviously. Nina, any good lessons learned during your work?
Yeah, a lot of them, but most of all, don't forget the older people and don't think that they can't learn, because they want to be a part of the society, and there's a lot of information and possibilities that are going online and into applications, and they want to take care of them, their own things and challenges, and it's really important to find the motivation and learn how to talk with them and be there with them. Yeah.
Justine, any lesson learned?
Yes, I think for us a really core element of what we've been doing, and something I think is quite valuable in the project, is making sure we involve, if building a children's oriented project, make sure we involve the adults, make sure we involve the parents, and we involve the teachers, and we do so while stating that the most important things on those topics is dialogue. And really, whether on media literacy or other digital skills topics, I find that at least for a youth project, this core notion and making sure it's at the heart of all the discussions with kids, parents, and teachers is really what makes it all work. Because when something bad happens, when children are under the influence of one thing or another, or when something wrong is started to happen in a class or a group of kids, it is important that dialogue is in place.
Yes.
And if parents or teachers do encounter difficulties online, well, let's be open about it. Maybe it's a good occasion to talk about it with children too.
So dialogue is really very, very important. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us and presenting your important work, and good luck into the future. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.